Steve Marley, Bounty Killer, Cabra. Here goes.
Yo, they do more to the people than for the people. They crash the economy like a vehicle. Huh. Say them a done and them a dogs and them a dada. Now the heart of the youth, them futuristic and dagger. Let's do this, brother. Let's move. Yo.
Once I was a little child, little things that make me smile. But quickly I became a man. The dog put a gun into my hand.
Yes, he did.
Told me that I could live or die. I didn't know the reason why, but my gun became my toy. The story of a ghetto boy. Ghetto boy, ghetto boy. The story of a ghetto boy. Ghetto boy, ghetto boy. The story of the ghetto boy. Boy, 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 boy.
Well, the story of a ghetto boy. Who did and give the gun and take him get a toy. So in the blind on the street just make a better joy. But now in back of the police and the quick get your try. That is what him get your right. Story of a ghetto youth. Who did and give the gun and say you better show. If you want to be a better suit, you want to drive a coupe. Wear a couple cool chain and slip it out to prostitute. The future you a prostitute. Nothing and can't tell I nothing. Hard press I button. Me a party, me green fist, me can't buy mutton. Me no red or yard nothing. Fi no gyal or guy something. Now what this gets to the people than for the people. They crash the economy like a vehicle. Huh. Say them a done and them a dogs and them a dada. Now the heart of the youth, them futuristic and dagger. Let's do this, brother. Let's move. Yo.
Once I was a little child, little things that make me smile. But quickly I became a man. Dad put a gun into my hand.
Yes, he did.
Told me that I could live or die. I didn't know the reason why, but my gun became my toy. The story of a ghetto boy. Ghetto boy, ghetto boy. The story of a ghetto boy. Ghetto boy, ghetto boy. The story of the ghetto boy. Boy, 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 boy.
Well, the story of a ghetto boy. Who did and give the gun and take him get a toy. So in the blind on the street just make a better joy. But now in back of the police and the quick get your try. That is what him get your right. Story of a ghetto youth. Who did and give the gun and say you better show. If you want to be a better suit, you want to drive a coupe. Wear a couple cool chain and slip it out to prostitute. The future you a prostitute. Nothing and can't tell I nothing. Hard press I button. Me a party, me green fist, me can't buy mutton. Me no red or yard nothing. Fi no gyal or guy something. Now what this gets up till the gate just if he hand was something. We don't want to see Angelis, we don't want to see Porsche. NCB, we want to see your Scotia. FD and JP, both of them a joke. But the brother get to me come out.
Once I was a little child.
President Robert Mugabe is experiencing the most turbulent period of his 36-year rule. A wave of protests over the worsening economy have been succeeded by criticism from within his own party. But just days after a section of Zimbabwe's liberation war fighters penned a critical statement calling on Mugabe to step down, thousands of war veterans disowned it. Addressing them, Mugabe called for unity in a party that is being rocked by factional fighting. He also took aim at foreign governments that he says are trying to divide the nation.
Foreign embassies in the country that are interfering with our politics, intervening although they're doing it privately, clandestinely. I want to warn them to desist from it. We know how to deal with our enemies who have been trying all along to bring about regime change in the country. We have the means to defend and protect our hard-won freedom.
Mugabe campaigned and won 2013 presidential elections on promises to create millions of jobs and revive defunct industries. His critics say he's failed to deliver on those pledges. The recent pro-Mugabe rallies have been direct responses to the growing public protests and a deliberate effort to show that the veteran leader is still popular. He says only the people can remove him from office.
So, this is me, and my people will have me for yet some time, a long time. And those outside who don't like me, I say, well, that's your own concern. I say, I don't mind it.
Mugabe's current term is up to 2018. Farai Mwakutuya, CCTV, Harare, Zimbabwe.
Sí se está evidenciando un cambio, sobre todo en los sistemas de seguridad alimentaria, sobre todo en la zona andina, alto andina, donde sí la papa que se sembraba, digamos, a los 3.800 metros se está movilizando hacia las zonas más altas, debido a que la temperatura está elevándose. Hay varias estrategias que se está tratando de implementar, creando variedades más resistentes a estos efectos estresantes del cambio climático, como por ejemplo tolerantes al calor, tolerantes a la sequía, pero no ingeniería genética en el sentido de usar papas transgénicas. Estamos utilizando la hibridación natural, los cruzamientos naturales o el mejoramiento clásico para generar nuevas variedades. Es un cruzamiento sexual, el cual genera el fruto verdadero de la planta, genera la semilla verdadera de la planta, y es a partir de la semilla verdadera en que empezamos a generar las nuevas variedades de plantas por un proceso de selección de varios años. Como quien dice, estamos preparando la papa para soportar los efectos del cambio climático.
You are listening to Muta Baruka.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put them up now. Open up your eyes and see. The truth will set you free. Embrace your identity. The truth will set you free. Oh, 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 oh. Well, in reflecting, we see there's a lot of things that we just can't change what is happening. And in reality, we see the Obama fling. The only refuge are the king of kings. Another life, one mother cry. The other night, another life, lost in this man. Another life, one mother cry. The other night, another life, lost in this man. Open up your eyes and see. The truth will set you free.
R.E.M. Thought-provoking, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Muta Baruka. R.E.M. I didn't that.
Put your hands up. Put them up now. Open up your eyes and see. The truth will set you free. Embrace your identity. The truth will set you free. Oh, 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 oh. Well, in reflecting, we see there's a lot of things that we just can't change what is happening. And in reality, we see the Obama fling. The only refuge are the king of kings. Another life, one mother cry. The other night, another life, lost in this man. Another life, one mother cry. The other night, another life, lost in this man. Open up your eyes and see. The truth will set you free. Embrace your identity. The truth will set you free. Oh, 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 oh. In the blink of an eye, so many innocent die. We could change the world if we try. In the blink of an eye, so many innocent die. We got to change it. Yes, we can do it. If we put our hearts and minds to it, we can rearrange it. So let's do it. And I know the righteous up to it. Open up your eyes and see. The truth will set you free. Embrace your identity. The truth will set you free. Oh. This is a mad world. 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 This is a mad world.
Kaboom! Irie! Them lick a fool that try copy them fish. Stop it! Irie, I lead!
This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
Nasty little teacher boy touching on my nephew, stirring up the dragon in my head. Blood bubbling like a boy might have full. All our ears are at least guess a page from the dread. Tired of the perverts, loose in the classroom, set on destruction of innocence. Ready for the battle with the demon. Sure say I know me one willing for stick a head on a fence. Sisters unafraid, an example of a guy or a woman for that matter who would ever dare to try. See through the future is dependent on the youth where we are built. This is warfare, this is not a drill. So any fool feel folly full and want to fraternize. Any undercover freak better know to keep them eyes up. Judgment on a beast who trying to get a rise up. Watching or touching or assaulting or worse. Them the kind of evil bring a permanent curse. And I see me an instrument of cruelty and destruction to anyone with a wicked intention for the young one. It is the mightiest of love with which I interface. Love by enemies necessary where it concerns this case. We are not afraid to make an example of a guy or a woman for that matter who would ever dare to try. See through the future is dependent on the youth where we are built. This is warfare, this is not a drill. Yet we are not afraid. Schooling, it will take a village. Tribal council, sister circle, unafraid. The true the future is dependent on the youth where we are built. This is warfare, this is not a drill. Yes, we are unafraid.
Yeah, man, the sister them a go on, you know. Yeah, man, the sister them a go on. Trust me, man. Sweet, sweet.
Cause this is warfare, this is not a drill.
Yeah, so the sister is on her way to Kenya. I think it's her first time in Africa, you know. Yes. Janine, Kaida. May I tell you that sister they can't sing Rasta and she have the right beat them, you know, the rhythm them from the ganja tree tune come right up, you know. Yes. Believe you me. Some Kaida. Kida. Okay. Well, when I say Kaida, she not correct me when I say Kida. What a terrible thing. Kida. Okay, Kida. K-E-I-D-A, right? Okay. Tony correct me a while ago and Tony too. A fella rather correct me like him do anything. You know what I mean? So here we are said, oh, a music. Here we go.
The 99%. They are the 1%.
25 years ago, Walter Williams pointed out, government handouts encourage people not to try.
They may never learn to pull themselves out of poverty one step at a time. Like some giant drug pusher, their government has lured them into dependency on a system that will maintain them in permanent poverty. In every respect, welfare has backfired.
Government's like a giant drug pusher?
Oh, that's absolutely right. The welfare state has done to black Americans what slavery could not have done, the harshest Jim Crow laws and racism could not have done, namely, break up the black family. That is, today, just slightly over 30% of black kids live in two-parent families. Historically, from 1870s on up to about 1940s, and depending on the city, 75 to 90% of black kids live in two-parent families. Illegitimacy rate is 70% among blacks, where that is unprecedented in our history. Now, it's not just a matter of a racial thing. In Sweden is the mother of the welfare state, and illegitimacy in Sweden is 54%.
And why does a welfare state create illegitimacy?
Well, because, look, if you subsidize anything, you're going to get surpluses of it, and if you tax something, you're going to get less of it. If you did not get welfare, then people would decide, I'm going to go out and get a job. I'm going to live more responsibly.
I'm going to get married before I have children.
That's right, yeah.
But the welfare state actually discouraged some men from marrying the woman.
Oh, yes.
She would lose the check.
That's right. The government has said to many young women, I am the father. Yeah, and so the black males have become dispensable.
Exactly what they've been doing. The whole welfare system is designed to replace the black man with the system as the black woman's husband. So the man ain't there, but the judge is your husband. The social worker is your husband. The man who gives out the welfare check, he's your husband. The man who gives you the Section 8 housing, he's your husband. So what they've done in America is they've created a situation where the black woman doesn't need the black man for nothing. Even if she wants your money, she doesn't have to ask you. She can go and have the white man dig in your pockets and take it for her. So you got this relationship between the black man and the black woman where if the sister is not careful, she can be manipulated into being used as a secret weapon of oppression against her own man. We are the only men whose women do not have to come and consult with us before they do anything else. This is a direct outgrowth of slavery, and it was engineered. That's why in America, black women make more money than black men. That's not true for no other group. Black women have more education than black men. That's not true for any other group. We're not faulting our sisters or knocking them in no way. And I want my sisters to understand that. We're just analyzing this system, this structure that's been created that empowers the sister, disempowers the man, and now convinces her that he's worthless and she don't need him and she'll be better off without him. The sisters have to understand that what's being done to black men isn't being done by black men. It's being done by the invisible hand of white supremacy. But a lot of our women can't see this onslaught, and as a result of that, they buy into the mindset that says the reason you fail and I succeed is because I am more concerned about my future than you are, and nothing could be further from the truth. And the black man has to make sure we don't blame the black woman for her excess education or income. Let's use that strategically. If she's making the money, so be it. Pass that money off to us so we can build the institutions. It's not automatically a problem that you make more money than me. It's not automatically a problem that you have more education than me if we can still work together. But if you buy into the mindset of the dominant society as to the reasons why you're doing better than me, then it becomes a problem when you ingest the white supremacy Kool-Aid and start believing in the mythology of the black man based on his white supremacy. The Food and Drug Administration is a criminal operation. The Food and Drug Administration is responsible for determining which medicines and which foods are healthy for human consumption, drugs and food. And in America, there's a thin line between a drug and a food because a lot of the chemicals in food are drugs. So there's really no fine line there. But what they've done over the years is that they have manipulated the definition of what's considered natural, raw, and organic to the point now that you can buy something that has a 100% organic label on the bag, but yet 40% of the contents of that product are not organic, are toxic, and are poison. So they're using the definitions. And what is the definition of power? It's the ability to do what? Define reality and make the victims accept it. This is organic. You buy into it, you accept it. This is freedom. You buy into it, you accept it. This is normal, healthy behavior. You buy into it, you accept it. We have to come up with our own definitions. You never accept the definitions of reality that the enemy gives you, because any definition he gives you is designed to confuse you to your reality. See, confusion is the weapon of oppression. If I can get you to not understand what's happening, you will stand still until you find out. So you keep confusion going. That's exactly why the CIA brought drugs into the community back in the 60s and 70s to neutralize the black power struggle. They say if we disorganize the community, if we confuse it, they won't have time to fight us. They'll be too busy fighting each other. You see? For example, there's research out there that shows some of the black organizations in our community, these not-for-profits, 501s, not all of them, but some of them, were set up by the FBI to disrupt progressive organizational activities. So when you look in Portland, you probably got a handful of organizations getting funding who were set up by the FBI, and their job is to disrupt anything progressive. We got to recognize half the books written are written by the FBI. Half the magazines written are written by the FBI. Let me give you an example. We all know who David Duke is. Former Grand Wizard of the KKK, at least in the Southern Division. Do you know that David Duke used to write books on black power under the pen name of, I think it was Muhammad X? Yes, he used to write black power books under the pen name of Muhammad X. Why? Because if I teach you how to deal with me, I can always overcome you because I gave you the strategy. Military science, they are masters of it, and that's why they rule. They're not in charge because they're smarter. They're not in charge because they were birthed by God to rule us. They're in charge because they have mastered psychological science and political science. What our children digest goes to the brain. What the brain gets, it uses for power. And if it doesn't get the right nutrients, then obviously that can lead to all types of disabilities and things like that within the body. So we definitely have to improve the diet that our children are consuming. But I want to be clear though, changing the diet is for health. It's not going to stop the miseducation machine. A lot of people are under the influence that if you gave every black boy a vegan diet, that would stop the ADHD. No, because he's not being diagnosed with ADHD because he got a problem. He's being diagnosed with ADHD because she don't want to teach him. It has nothing to do with his diet, but we need to improve diet to maintain the health of our young people.
Them way there, me no check them way there, me no turn them way there. No, my youth, me no move them way there, me no flex them ways there, me no meds them way there. No, my youth, me no pray them way there, me no check them way there, me no turn them way there. No, my youth, me no move them way there, me no flex them ways there, me no meds them way there. When me see people things me there, make it turn them, make it turn them. Make it done then. Me no have no good food from last week Friday. Last week Friday. And me still not get sleepy until next week Sunday. Next week Sunday. Next week Monday. When you say a while ago, me say next week Sunday. No, by you, me no breed them way there. Me no check them way there. Me no turn them way there. No, my you, me no move them way there. Me no flex them way there. Me no mix them way there. No, my you, me no pre them way there. Me no check them way there. Me no turn them way there. No, my
R.E.F.M. Thought-provoking, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Muta Baruka.
Pick a fruit and kiss the tree. Plant a seed and let it be. One tree, one fruit, one seed. One thought, one word, one deed. Tell me blow the phone and say yes indeed. Yes indeed. Him say yes indeed.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. Our 2 weeks of specials from the Democratic and Republican conventions, Breaking with Convention, War, Peace, and the Presidency. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting this week from Philadelphia, the Democratic National Convention. In a minute, we're going to return to the debate with Georgetown professor Michael Eric Dyson and Princeton University professor Eddie Glaude. But first, I want to turn to First Lady Michelle Obama's address to the DNC Monday night.
I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. And I watch my daughters, two beautiful, intelligent black young women, playing with their dogs on the White House lawn.
So that's First Lady Michelle Obama speaking Monday night here in Philadelphia. Well, Fox News' Bill O'Reilly responded to Michelle Obama's comments on Tuesday by claiming the slaves who built the White House were well-fed.
Slaves that worked there were well-fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government, which stopped hiring slave labor in 1802. However, the feds did not forbid subcontractors from using slave labor. So Michelle Obama is essentially correct in citing slaves as builders of the White House, but there were others working as well.
That was Fox's Bill O'Reilly. Again, our guest, Georgetown professor Michael Eric Dyson, Princeton professor Eddie Glaude. Your response to that, Michael?
Well, it's Mike Tyson might say ludicrous for Bill O'Reilly to deny the fact that slave labor built that institution, in fact, built America. Toni Morrison said, on the backs of blacks. We have erected American society. Democratic projects, institutions, and energies all rest on what black people provided, and not just physical labor, whether Benjamin Banneker drafted plans and extended what had begun with another architect, or the fact that black intellectual and social and moral vision made possible the realization of the very democratic energy that building embodies and represents. The point that Professor Glaude was making earlier in terms of taking a brief tour of what black people have done in this country, that White House represents such a powerful moment, a locus of such competing energies. And the reason Bill O'Reilly's upset and many white people are responding is because Michelle Obama, without saying I'm engaging in a powerful articulation of blackness in reaction to the rise of white supremacy and a culture that adores whiteness as the norm for America, she was invading that. Her black body invades that. Her talking about her children on the White House lawn is messing with the mindset of these bigots out there who are looking in the broader scope of things at just how lethal the presence of Obama and Mrs. Obama and their children represent, beyond any of the politics.
Professor Glaude.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, what he said.
It's just stupid, but it's stupid, but it's revealing in its stupidity. Because part of what's at the heart of the problem in our discussions around race in this country is a fundamental bad faith, right? That there's a sense in which the ways in which folks engage in the conversation around racial inequality, the beliefs and assumptions, right, that inform that conversation are never made explicit. And so people are always evading, sticking their heads in the sand like ostriches, or trying to find, right, another account of what's going on. So it's stupid and it's bad, so it's revealing in its bad faith. But let me say this about Michelle Obama. It was a powerful speech, but what was so disturbing to me is the way in which the Democratic Party has traded in a kind of insidious American exceptionalism. So at that moment in which we talk about my beautiful, intelligent black daughters playing on the lawn of the White House, I understand the symbolic significance of that, but that was deployed in the context of a narrative of America being the greatest country on the planet. The greatest, I mean, they were in some ways replaying, retooling Ronald Reagan's Morning in America, the shining city on the hill, Reagan's revision of John Winthrop's, model of Christian charity, right? And so what do you get? You even get Joe Biden last night talking about the 21st century will be the American century. I threw my house shoe at the television, right? Then all this talk about we're the greatest country, we have the greatest military, that looked like the Republican Party of the 1980s. No wonder Melania Trump could plagiarize Michelle Obama, because it fit fits perfectly.
Well, the instances of plagiarism of black people by white people are not reduced to that. But the appropriation of blackness has been a sui generis response of America. But I'm saying to you, the biggest ain't made no mistake about what Michelle Obama was saying. We might engage in a kind of philosophical argument about what is going on there, but the bottom line is they got the message real loud and clear. And it wasn't about the articulation of American exceptionalism, which I agree should be criticized, or the degree to which Barack Obama is not like the other Negroes. What Michelle Obama was saying, I'm just like the other Negroes. She's presenting a counter-narrative to the hegemony of American exceptionalism by saying the slaves who built that are manifest in their ancestry to the noble lineage that my children represent. So she's connecting and suturing what has been said.
We only have 2 minutes left. Yeah. What about Supreme Court justice choices in the next either whoever it will be presidency?
Well, this is critical. This is critical. In some ways, this is part of why I have a dual strategy really quickly, right? This is why I said we have to keep Donald Trump out of office, and we have to announce that business as usual is unacceptable. And we have to begin to shift the center of gravity, right, of democratic politics in black communities, right? Part of the thing that I want to suggest. So I'm conceding your point about the importance of the Supreme Court, and this is why we have to engage in this dual strategy, right? But what's ultimately at the heart of my understanding here is that we have to understand the rot that's at the heart of this country, and that is our current way of living is no longer sustainable, and that the crises in black communities require a different kind of politics. The black political class has become identical, indecipherable from the Democratic establishment. Right? And to that extent, people can trade in identity politics, can talk about race and gender and all this stuff. Well, we know that that's the currency of neoliberalism. Right. But part of what I want to suggest is that we need a radical reimagining of democratic
Beyond the radical reimagination, I'm down with all that stuff that Eddie said. At the end of the day, I'm with her, he's with me, we with us. What I'm telling you is that the decision to be made is that we got to keep from getting into office a demagogue who would change the landscape not only of American representational and democratic politics, but the very nature and fabric of the conversation's possibility, the conditions of emergence. So I'm saying to you at the end of the day, Hillary Clinton has been put in office because the Supreme Court justices will make a difference. The way in which the landscape of policy recommendations will make a difference. The presence of a person who is open to challenging white supremacy, white hegemony, white dominance, and white privilege through her own rhetoric. And if she means it or not is irrelevant, because we can take that rhetoric and do with it what we will.
We're going to have to leave it there. I want to thank you both for being with us. I want to thank Michael Eric Dyson for being with us. Michael Eric Dyson is a professor at Georgetown University, author of many books, including The Black Presidency, Barack Obama, and the Politics of Race in America, and Professor Eddie Glaude, who teaches at Princeton University, head of the Department of African American Studies. His most recent book, Democracy in Black, How Race Still Enslaves the American Soul. That does it for our show.
No, my youth, me not free them way. Me check them way. Me not turn them way. No, my youth, me not move them way. Me not flex them way. Me not flex them way. Remember yesterday, today was tomorrow. And tomorrow, today becomes yesterday. So anything you see, I that you are going to reap. And if you spit in the sky, you can go drop in your head. So know where you are set, I know where you are doing. Everything that you do, it come right back to you. And under the sun, nothing na new. Nothing na new, nothing na new. So know my youth, me no free them way. Me no check them way. Me no turn them way. No, my youth, me no move them way. Me no flex them way. Me no make them way. No, my youth, me no free them way. Me no check them way. Me no turn them way. No, my youth, me no move them way. Me no flex them way. Me no make them way. When you see me for things, you feel just make it done. Make it done. Make it done. Me no have no good food from last week Friday. Last week Friday. Last week Friday. And we still not get no pay until next week Sunday. Next week Sunday. Next week Monday. Listen, next week Sunday. No, my youth, me no free them way. Me check them way. Me no turn them way. No, my youth, me no move them way. Me no flex them way. Me no meds them way. No, my youth, me no free them way. Me no check them way. Me no turn them way. No, my youth, me no move them way. Me no flex flex them ways. You know fi meds them ways.
We have Marcia Fraser on the line. If you don't remember who's Marcia Fraser, she's Mario Dean's mother. We had her on the program the other day. She was talking about having a demonstration in Montego Bay. I hope the condom thing never get her out. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Muta.
Tell me something, you get flood out. How the thing go? How the demonstration go?
Muta, surprisingly, because I intended to call you, and if you say you would drive down, you could drive down or something. But when I saw the rain the day before, I said, no, that would be too much. But we have a beautiful day yesterday. All day was sunshine. So it turns out very well.
Okay, so the people, you had some support?
Yes, we had some support. You have people who could not stay long, so they would come, stand up for a few minutes, and then go again.
So is this was a silent protest, or you had speakers there talking to the police? How that work? Tell me how it worked.
Well, for me, it's silent tonight. Just one time Mr. Meadows was there, and he knew the police well, so I will talk to the police a little, but there was nothing that we communicate anything,
Yeah. You just want to make them aware, say something still have to happen.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so you're going to have a next protest?
Coming Saturday, I'm coming to Kingston because Kingston people support me a lot, and a lot of people said to me, boy, if you was Kingston, we would support you. So I say, you know what? He died on the 6th, and I don't celebrate independence no more. By morning, we'd go to his graveside and, maybe brush some leaves off the grave and stuff. So I say, you know what, I could use it in a more positive energy by coming to Kingston and, stand up with, and whoever want to come and stand with us. Quite the same as in Montego Bay. Okay. No brawl, no shouting back at anybody. We don't need all of that,
Yeah. So where you going to that now? Mandela Park, Emancipation Park, where?
We were playing at Halfway Tree Square where people come and go.
Mandela Park then?
Yes.
Yeah, Halfway Tree Square. Okay, and this is Dependent Day you're talking about, Saturday the 6th.
Independence morning, we'll be there. By 9 o'clock we should be there.
All right, Mama. So we want the people them know and recognize that. Mario Dean, remind the people them who's Mario Dean. Mario Dean was killed in Montego Bay police station on Main Street there. Spliff. Right. He was arrested for a spliff and then lose him life because of the spliff. Yes, and this is the mother of Mario Dean speaking. So you're saying that this Saturday, out of Halfway Tree Square, silent protest for the memory of Mario Dean, your son. Okay?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, give thanks, Mama.
All right, thank you, Muta.
Yeah, man. All right. Yes, Mario Dean. The memory of Mario Dean still linger. And while Bunting supposed to remember Mario Dean, like, wow. You understand? Yes, Bunting supposed to remember Mario Dean. But you know, things take long to deal with in Jamaica. The justice system is slow. Slow. So you have all cases where all 10 years ago still don't even reach certain levels yet. And people get frustrated, witness dead from some ZICV or arthritis, or them get visa and gone where them can't bother. So the perpetrator of the crime get away because of the slow movement of the justice system in Jamaica. It want to revamp and start over. Yes, it want to revamp and start over. The government of Jamaica need to understand that. Meanwhile, them celebrate Independence Day. They must reflect, not the people them, the government must reflect on what brought them to this level now. What brought them to this level? I read some newspaper and I say, yes, the IMF thing actually work for the private sector, you know, because in the climate where we're in now, how the hell one company make all $3 billion in them first quarter, $6 billion in a 6 months. Profit. When we hear all the profit for NBs, what them call themselves? NCB, National Commercial Bank. You know, the National Commercial Bank charge you 2% for lodge your money and percentage for take it out. And if you have to change a check, you have to pay $200. Suppose you check a $300. Suppose you have a $300 check. Neil always have them kind of check there. Neil, we have to take set for you today, don't it? No, but and when you hear the profit margin, you know, you say then wait there. At so much money, we're not talking about the millions of dollars profit, you know. We're talking about like big company like Sagicor and Grace Kennedy and NCB and Scotia Bank. Them people, they make billions of dollars every month. Me or one of them about say, them profit margin gone down. But the reason why it gone down is because the stringent measures that government take to collect certain things, revenues. But the people, them situation remain the same. I don't know who feel different since the election or before the election. If I know the same way you feel. If it's a JLP, you might feel bright because you're a party in a power, but then your situation is the same way. I don't know nobody because them did vote for PNP. Any people where they run up and down behind the bus them and I wear green t-shirt with them representative on the t-shirt and I dance in the street and I make noise and all them something. I don't know if them situation different since February till now. It's a terrible thing. And when we look on the profit margin where these people are making a little island where not even 3 million people. I mean, I say, how the hell a company make so much money? What them doing to make so much profit? Profit. We're not talking about where them collect total. We're not talking about after them don't take out where them spend. Them profit is over billions, not 1 billion, billions. And they will say, NCB, I charge your money for putting your money in the bank, I charge your money for take out the money, and then when you go borrow money from them charge the person who borrowed the money some big money. And if you have money in the bank, you not get no high rate of interest. You not get no high rate of interest. Something intrinsically wrong with this society or this system where them are trying to make into a capitalist system and the people them situation is getting worse. The rich getting richer and the poor is dying. Dying, the poor is dying. And then it give rise to some little conniving and schemes that is supposed to be unlawful. The men them who make the law break the law more than the people them who the law was made to curtail. Of course. So when you hear a guy say, I'm going to take a little round the corner way, a man has said, no, that's unlawful, not illegal. But when you look at the society at large, the government come like some... When the man them out of Spanish Town where I take money from the people them for do this and do that name again. Scammer. No, man. Scammer man to go be a thing. Eh? Extortion. The government are the biggest extortionists in the world. Governments. Me not talk about Jamaican government now. Me talk about all American government. But in a Jamaica, because we so-called now little, the extortion wider. But them do it under the guise of law. Under the guise of law, them extort you and make you think some terrible things. They make good people do bad things. Yes, they make good people do bad things. It's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. And none of them who rise up, whether them is PNP or GLP, them continue the process of oppressing the people. Oppressing the people. And the people them cry out. And then when 4 or 5 years come now, the people them jump up in the street again and cry again and say, this is what them want now. And when them get it, oh gosh, man. Terrible thing, man. They don't think that the government cause the condom them feet in the gully. And the government cause the condom. We blame government for the condom they were in the gully. Yeah, man. We don't know. The people them cry. And the mothers them cry. And if y'all drink them own tears sometime, them tears become water. And the mothers them cry and the babies bawl. And the father them get vexed because them can't cope. And them turn upon the children and turn upon the mothers. And sometimes them get so embarrassed that them can't deal with what men supposed to do with them family. That them go out there and do things that cause them children to do have no father because of one gunshot. Whether it come from a criminal on the street without uniform or a criminal in uniform who's supposed to protect the people. The people them crying, but because sometimes you don't see no tears falling, you feel say crying is not happening. People cry without tears. Just like how people laugh without smiling. People cry without tears, man. And the Jamaican mothers, the mothers of Jamaica, you hear them say prostitution on the rise? A government caused that. Because some of the women them have picnic. And them have said, them can't get no work. Them not have no education. Poopa gone. Them now make them picnic so far. While a man did have more left in picnic them, the woman stay with her picnic. No matter what. And she have to find somewhere to survive. Me play me play Five Young the other night. And a lady with 3 years ago bring her little daughter to come meet me. Right in the middle of the dance hall when I play the music. She said, you know, so my daughter listen to you all the while and she go take her exam, you know. And she's supposed to get the result. The next time I see her, she said our daughter passed exam and gone at one of them traditional high school. Sunday, I see her again. And our next picnic. A poor people we are talking about, you know. Poor people. Because some have to escape, you know. Some of we have to escape out of the dregs and the condom and the styrofoam feces. A whole heap of we have to escape. But the majority is still in it. And when you look on the government and how you see how governments come and treat the people them. And you say, wow, why they make it so hard for the people them? And not slavery deals. Them worse than the man them who do in slavery. Because slave master left Jamaica a long time and keep him like a bossy slave them to look after the plantation for the slave master, where they are England and America. And them keep the slaves them intact. And when the slave them try to jump out a line, them dead. And some slaves say, all right, watch and see. So them just go man take a beer and start to do certain things. And the woman them just say, watch you know, me have to feed my picnic, you know, me give myself as a living sacrifice that my picnic can have a good life. So them prefer to go out there, go sell them body. Sell them body. And I don't business nowhere no one wants to say, because when I talk about prostitution as a moral thing, we man say prostitution and this and this and that. We are say, by any means necessary, most women who have a child will do anything to protect. Because we see that in the lower animal species. Lower animals protect them young ones by any means necessary. Sometimes them even eat them to protect them. Eat them. Yeah, you have animals who eat them young ones to protect them from certain things. Mothers in Jamaica protecting them children and do have no other way to protect them children will do anything, legal or illegal, so that their children will not face the problems with them go through.
The Clinton campaign presents Donald Trump as dictator's best friend. In speeches and campaign ads, Trump himself is cast as a dictator to be.
We are trying to elect a president, not a dictator.
He's running this country, and at least he's a leader, you know, unlike what we have in this country.
Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, right? You know what he did well? He killed terrorists. He did that so good.
So Donald Trump stands accused of admiring dictators, while few mention Hillary Clinton had closely dealt with leaders widely seen as dictators and was even friends with some. Not long before Egypt's Hosni Mubarak was ousted, Mrs. Clinton said, quote, "I really consider President and Mrs. Mubarak to be friends of my family." This is from 2009. Then, of course, the tide turned. People revolted against what they saw as an oppressive regime that consistently violated human rights, and Hosni Mubarak, who had enjoyed U.S. support for many years, fell. When Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she seemed very pragmatic about relations with Saudi Arabia. It looked like a real partnership. The State Department under Mrs. Clinton approved the sale of billions of dollars worth of advanced U.S. weapons to the Gulf nation. Her Assistant Secretary said the sales were, quote-unquote, a top priority for Hillary Clinton. Saudi Arabia's dismal human rights record and the fact that it is an authoritarian state apparently did not affect this partnership. By the way, Saudi Arabia has kindly donated up to $25 million to the Clinton Foundation for charity purposes. Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill, has forged his own ties with leaders widely perceived as dictators. Paul Kagame of Rwanda cracked down on his opposition, armed and commanded a rebellion in neighboring Congo to gain control of the mineral-rich part of that country. Mr. Clinton praised and even awarded him
a special word of appreciation for the leadership of President Kagame.
I'm greatly humbled to receive this Clinton Global Citizen Award.
Hillary Clinton presents Trump as dictator's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is PR, or do you think she's really concerned?
Oh, I don't think she's really concerned. It's completely political. I mean, she's the best friend of many dictators. You know, it's sort of pot calling the kettle black.
She's just trying to find ways to demonize Trump, just as they demonize Putin. And you put them together, you got double demonization, if that's possible. I mean, hello? Next thing you know, they'll blame Putin for global warming.
Mrs. Clinton now calls on voters to imagine what a friend to dictators Trump would be as president, but her record shows she herself has been friends with a few. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chekyan, RT.
Ongoing race for the White House. 8 years ago, Barack Obama convinced Democrats he should be the party's presidential nominee, but now he's trying to convince America she should be the next president. Obama heaped praise on his former Foreign Secretary, Secretary of State, saying there's no one more qualified to sit in the Oval Office, although his feelings aren't exactly shared by all Democrats.
I can say with confidence, there has never been a man or a woman, not me, not Bill, nobody, more qualified than Hillary Clinton to serve as President of the United States of America.
Well, protesters burned the U.S. flag outside the Democratic convention, showing their disappointment over Clinton's nomination. Demonstrators also clashed with police and tried to storm the barricades. A number of arrests were made.
You remember when we used to go a show, and as the show started, and Queen Elizabeth that come out on the screen on her horse and then play the anthem of England. Now we stand up in the place and we play the Jamaican anthem. And we feel proud. We feel proud because the hope, we keep the hope alive in a way. But the manifestation of that hope has not been forthcoming to the people of Jamaica. And the politicians, them, make it even harder for the thing happen. Harder for it happen. So the man, the youth, them a question independence. Yes, DJ, Max says ZJ Spark, you can come from my hard drive anytime. I mean fully too. Yes.
Traced back to the late 1800s, during what was called by the imperial European powers the scramble for Africa. Colonization was motivated by the European hunger for African resources. The subsequent exploitation of the African people and the uprooting of their spiritual values by Christian missionaries would leave a permanent European stamp on the continent.
The mindset is the barbarians are backward and inferior, and for their own benefit we have to uplift them and civilize them and educate them and so on. The psychology behind it is kind of transparent. I mean, when you've got your boot on someone's neck and you're crushing them, you can't say to yourself, I'm a son of a bitch and I'm doing it for my own benefit. So what you have to do is figure out some way of saying, I'm doing it for their benefit. And that's a very natural position to take when you're beating somebody with a club.
Britain cut the largest piece of African cake from Cairo to Cape Town, in addition to Nigeria and a few West African regions. It was also the British Empire that in 1894 imposed an arbitrary boundary around the many diverse ethnic groups and kingdoms that would make up Uganda. The southern Bantu-speaking people were given economic, political, and educational advantage. The northern ethnic groups, two in particular, the Acholi and the Langi, were the main recruits for military and police positions. By exploiting linguistic, ethnic, and cultural differences between the peoples of the North and South, Britain's divide and rule policies created a tension between them that helped maintain British rule. The French took an east-west slice of the continent as well as Madagascar. The Belgians took Rwanda, Burundi, and the Congo in what Joseph Conrad called the vilest scramble for loot that ever disfigured the history of human conscience. Slave labor took over 5 million lives. In Rwanda, Belgium entrenched the idea of the Hutu as a workforce and the Tutsi as extenders of Belgian rule. The politicization of these two cultures would profoundly contribute to the genocide of 1994. In Sudan, the British ruled the Arabs in the north and the blacks in the south as separate colonies, only to combine the areas before independence in 1956. The result has been relentless civil war, the Darfur massacres being the latest tragedy. The Portuguese decimated Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea-Bissau well into the 1970s. The Italians took Libya, Eritrea, and Somalia. The Germans added Cameroon and Tanzania and committed the first genocide of the 20th century against the Herero people.
No colonial power is going to succeed unless it's going to play on existing divisions and sharpen them, increase them, exacerbate them. So one of the first questions after the end of colonialism is who belongs and who doesn't. Who was part of the colonial struggle and who betrayed. And this is time to settle scores.
Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're going to our father's land. Yeah. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man, yeah, to see the unification of all Africans, yeah.
Usually, the divide and conquer tactics have always been used by the oppressor to keep the oppressed oppressed.
The Honorable Malcolm X once said, "The greatest weapon that the colonial powers have used in the past against our people has always been divide and conquer. America is a colonial power. She has colonized 22 million Afro-Americans by depriving us of our first-class citizenship, by depriving us of civil rights, and actually by depriving us of human rights. She has not only deprived us of our right to be a citizen, she has deprived us of our right to be a human being, the right to be recognized and respected as men and women." So America's strategy is the same strategy that was used in the past by the colonial powers, divide and conquer. She plays one Negro leader against the other. She plays one Negro organization against the other. She makes us think that we have different objectives, different goals. As soon as one Negro says something, she runs to this Negro and asks him, "What do you think about what he said?" Why, anybody can see through that today except some of the Negro leaders.
We don't care what your religion is. We don't care what organization you belong to. We don't care how far in school you went or didn't go. We don't care what kind of job you have. We have to give you credit for shocking the white man by not letting him divide you and use you one against the other. In the past, the greatest weapon the white man has had has been his ability to divide and conquer. As Jackie Robinson pointed out beautifully on the television last night, 4/5 of the world isn't white. Isn't that what Jackie said? And if 4/5 of the world is dark, how is it possible for 1/5 to rule, oppress, exploit, dominate, and brutalize the 4/5 who are in the majority? How do they do it? Divide and conquer. If I take my hand and slap you, you don't even feel it. It might sting you because these digits are separated. But all I have to do to put you back in your place is bring those digits together. This is what the white man has done to you and me. He has divided us and used us one against the other. Since the so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us, I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity. Despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences, let us remember that we are not brutalized because we're Baptists. We're not brutalized because we're Methodists. We're not brutalized because we're Muslims. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America.
Our honorable ancestor Malcolm X went on to say, "We black men have a hard enough time in our own struggle for justice and already have enough enemies as it is to make the drastic mistake and attack each other and add more weight to an already unbearable load. Our people have always made the mistake of confusing the methods with the objectives. As long as we agree on objectives, we should never fall out with each other just because we believe in different methods or tactics or strategy. We have to keep in mind at all times that we are not fighting for separation or integration. We are fighting for recognition as free human beings in this society."
We switch the subject, you know. We are switching subject. We're going to America. Everybody is supposed to know we are going to America, the third world country, one of the first third world countries. Yes, that's a serious thing because the election there, sometimes I'm going to hear them think it's supposed to happen in a third world country. But we see we are going. So you have two people on the spot where hardly any American like. Well, I will put American like. I shouldn't say hardly any American, but them say the majority of American people who have voted don't trust none of them. And them say that Clinton have a kind of serious distrust thing going with her. But we are going to say what we said last night. I going to play the same tape we played last night. It's not a long thing, but why most progressive people who are dealing with African consciousness is not in line with Hillary Clinton. And this, what we're going to play, is one of the main things, not only, one of the main things why a whole heap of we not say and jump up in the air, because it's not like we like Obama. It's not Obama, not like we like the other idiot brother. What's his name again? Trump. But Trump does attack. He's not really in an opposition right now for do nothing. But this lady do so much things that it can't go just so and say it not happen.
You say then that the United States is not the black man's country.
Definitely
American laws
not.
are not black men's laws.
No. So,
American laws are not the black man's laws.
Well, the laws here in America were made by white people for the benefit of white people. The Constitution was written by whites for the benefit of whites. It was never written for the benefit of blacks. And when you read the Constitution, I think in Article 1, Article 1, Section 2, or Section 1, Article 1, some one of the two, and it's in the Constitution. It says that it classifies black people as 3/5 of a man. 3/5 of a man, subhuman, less than a human being. It relegates us to the level of cattle, hogs, chickens, cows. a commodity that could be bought and sold at the will of the master. No, it was written by whites for the benefit of whites and to the detriment of blacks. And when a black man stands up talking about his constitutional rights, he's out of his mind.
The campaign to abolish slavery in the United States had drawn support from all over the world. Abolition was acclaimed as a triumph for all humanity. But soon black Americans would realize that racism had outlived slavery. Near the end of the Civil War, the Northern Union Army had promised 40 acres to each freed slave who would fight the Southern Confederate Army. But the following year, the order was rescinded, and the lands were returned to the white plantation owners of the South, leaving many with no choice but to work for their former masters. They became farm laborers as part of a system known as sharecropping.
The way it worked is that a black family would work for a white landlord for a period of a year. And during that time, the family would receive canned goods, food, a plow, mules, animals, seeds, other implements that were necessary to produce a cash crop, let's say cotton. And the split was half, 50-50, minus the costs that had been incurred during the previous growing season by the black family. And what usually occurred, since the black household did not keep the books, blacks owed more money at the end of the year to white families, and so the debt was rolled over. Blacks essentially never got out of debt.
After the Civil War, the 13th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution outlawed slavery and extended the vote to adult black men. But in the South, these hard-won rights were thwarted.
What they did was to find ways to stop people from voting. They created literacy tests, basically. They said, or other exams that you had to pass in order to be allowed to vote. And a white person would show up and they would be asked, what country is this? And they would say, United States, go ahead, vote. And then a black person would show up and they'd first of all see if they could read. And if they could read, they would then ask them a question like, what is the third phrase in the First Amendment governing religion? Which, of course, most white people couldn't have answered either.
By the end of the 19th century, the Southern states made it legal to offer so-called separate but equal services to their black citizens. These laws denied black Americans equal access to public amenities, such as education and transport, turning the United States into a racially segregated nation. Soon, millions living in the land of the free found themselves trapped by the Jim Crow system, named after a vaudeville act that ridiculed black people.
The key thing to grasp about the so-called Jim Crow laws is that they were really about enforcing the idea of racial inequality in everyday life. And so there were laws that explicitly governed things like where black people could sit in buses, whether they could stay in hotels, which hotels they could stay in, whether they could eat in the same places and so on. But also around them was a set of practices of everyday life which were not legally enforceable, but which reflected the very same ideas. So, for example, black people weren't supposed to look white people in the face in the street. I mean, if there was not enough space on the pavement, the black person was supposed to get off. Or in the end, if you looked in the wrong place, if you did what was once called reckless eyeballing, if a black man looked at a white woman in the wrong way, he could end up being lynched.
So if you live on a stone and don't know that somebody akin to the Democratic Party email and WikiLeaks leak out the information that the party was doing things that Bernie Sanders could not win, and them spread propaganda. One of the main things that them started to spread, that according to the email them, was that Bernie Sanders was an atheist. That's where them start to spread. Well, the head of the WikiLeaks come out and him release the email them. The woman who was heading the Democratic convention thing did have to resign. Them get the next woman now. And them start to say the Russian them do it. The Russian them hack into the computer. The man from WikiLeaks, the head of WikiLeaks say, look here, on the don't bother check is who do it, check what the message say. Don't check the messenger. Check the message that there was something going on there under the table that Bernie Sanders couldn't reach the pinnacle of where I'm supposed to reach. So the WikiLeaks man speak.
Now, after releasing emails that led to DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz stepping down from her controversial role in undermining the Sanders presidential campaign, Julian Assange is now preparing to release more leaked emails, and this time he says they will, quote, provide enough evidence to indict Hillary Clinton. Assange also made it clear there is no evidence of Russian involvement in the email hack, despite the Clinton campaign's claims. For details on this story, we go now to Laura Smith in the UK.
Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, of course, is still holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy here in London. But once again, he's proven that he's not just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. Not content with releasing 20,000 emails from the Democratic National Committee, Assange now says he'll be releasing more material that he says will provide enough evidence to see Hillary Clinton arrested. He's given a series of interviews in which he says that there's no proof whatsoever that the emails that he's already released came from Russian sources. He says that the DNC servers were ripe for hacking, that they're riddled with holes, and that documents hacked over a number of years are out there in the public domain in multiple copies. He says when the Clinton campaign talks about having proof that the emails were hacked by Russians, he says, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're not talking about my leak. In fact, he's quite coy about the whole thing. Of course, WikiLeaks likes to create maximum ambiguity about where its information comes from. It's very hot on the protection of sources. And he said maybe one day our source or sources will step forward and some people will have egg on their faces, or read into that what you will. Of course, he's at pains to say that it's not important where the emails come from. What's important is what's in them. And what we have now, he says, is the Clinton campaign using information about past hacks to divert attention away from what's actually in those emails. But that this diversionary tactic itself raises questions. Clinton here is presented with a political scandal, and what she does is blame the Russians, blame the Chinese, according to Assange. And if she does that in government, he says that's a style that could cause serious conflict. What of the content of those emails, though? Well, the leaks, of course, rocked the beginning of the DNC and brought about the ouster of its chairwoman. What they do, Assange says, is show collusion at the very top of the Democratic Party to get rid of Bernie Sanders. He argues that Clinton, of course, may have won the nomination anyway, but now it's impossible to know, so that her nomination de facto has no political legitimacy. WikiLeaks, as Assange said, is set to release further emails, and it's clear that he thinks these could be the nail in Hillary Clinton's coffin.
When the final charges were dropped in the Freddie Gray case, a judge's gag order was lifted and State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby addressed the media. In previous stories, The Real News has covered Mosby's comments condemning police officers for interfering with the case. In this story, we get a response to her statement that the Baltimore Police Department has made reforms since she indicted the 6 officers for Freddie Gray's death. We spoke to Dominique Stevenson of the 1619 Coalition and Eddie Conway, a former Black Panther and political prisoner of 44 years.
In spite of the fact that the verdicts didn't go in our favor, there have been many gains throughout this journey to ensure that what happened to Freddie Gray never happens to another person that comes into contact with police.
Basically, like what I see working in and around Gilmore Homes and Sandtown Winchester is I see the same behavior by the police. I don't see that anything has really changed. I see the jump outs that are occurring around the community. And I think that the real issue is that this is not a system that can be reformed. I think that is extremely problematic, how people view this system as if it's broken. It's working the way it was intended to work for Black and Latino and brown folks.
That if she really wanted reform to occur, she wouldn't have removed that charge of illegal arrest. That charge of illegal arrest would have reformed the police department here in Maryland and all across the country. By her taking that charge and taking it out of the indictment left no choice but no reform. Actually, nothing has changed, and in fact, until young people have the opportunity to have jobs, until the city government invests in summer jobs for young people, until there's a recognition of people in the community as human beings and not as the enemy, there's been no changes so far. I look all over the city and I see the same kind of behavior. It might have a smile on his face, but it's still taking people and throwing them to the ground, and it's still harassing people, individuals, and people are still walking around the streets in fear. So I don't see any change.
Can we separate justice from economic justice, and why is that important to have that discussion as well?
No, I don't think you can separate it. Because I think that part of what we're dealing with here, particularly in communities of people of African descent, Latinos and other living, is a part of capitalism and how it works. In many cases, we're deemed no longer useful to this system. So simply lock us up, contain us, we're disposable people. I don't think you can ever separate economic justice from justice. Economic justice is a part of what I'm talking about if I'm talking about justice. There are no jobs in the community where Freddie Gray lived and grew up.
Everybody in the city needs to engage in trying to work with each other and other people in the city so that we can bring change, because change is not going to occur unless it occurs from down on the ground.
From Baltimore, this is Jessel Noor.
To his own divine majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, light of this world, elect of himself, worthy of every praise, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Lions don't fear, those eagles and dragons and bears, lions don't fear, them bombs and them guns and nuclear. Lions don't fear, them moves the leopards when them set them snares. Lions don't chuck all the blame. Are you insane? All you know, the flame will lift you up. Dealing with the faith and not the luck. No, those who dealing with the luck, they're a sitting duck. Babylon, you're so corrupt. We come to shake you up, earthquake you. Lions don't fear those eagles and dragons and bears. Whoa, whoa. Lions don't fear them bombs and them guns and nuclear. Lions don't fear those wolves and leopards when they come round here. Lions don't fear. We don't fear. We don't fear. Just His Majesty alone.
Yeah, you would call Magma saying lions don't fear. And when I get it right until the lion start tell him own story, you know. Or when the hunter tell his story is one thing. Or when the lion tell him own story, you hear that different thing. This is the Stepping Razor. Yeah.
Yeah, Muta, where you at, man?
Stepping Razor.
Yeah, but we never know say the guy the WikiLeaks still in them thing there.
Still in our leak out things. Yeah,
because in their embassy in England.
Yeah, long about 5 years, 6 years him there.
Yeah, but it come like him and the guy from America. The guy where hiding in Russia then it come like him a link up.
Snowden, yeah. I don't know if I'm a link up, but Snowden.
Yeah, it seems so, because it seems like the boy, not like Clinton, you know.
But you have Gustav too, you know. You know about Gustav too?
Eh?
You know Gustav, the other one where the Romanian who get them sent back to America and now him in a jail. You don't know about that one there?
No, I don't remember about that one there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, where is it now? Yeah, the WikiLeaks man, him not like her.
Yeah. So the guy that's, you know, where after some time in Russia, then Russia.
Yeah, I'm still there.
He's still there, so come back to my work with the boy there.
Which boy?
With WikiLeaks.
Why you say that?
Huh?
Why you say that?
Because he push out some report from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, the WikiLeaks man.
The WikiLeaks man.
So what does that have to do with Snowden?
Then I get some report, some file up Russia there where the guy that's still. The guy they were asked for some time in Russia there, man.
Snowden?
Yeah.
Well, no, but all that leak they have to do with Snowden in Russia?
Because, you know, America want him.
Yeah, then America don't want the whole of them, but when I say where the leak, where happened this or no, where that have to do with him, where the WikiLeaks man released, where that have to do with Snowden in Russia?
Released some report from Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but I don't understand what you say.
In favor of Trump.
Oh, I mean in favor of Trump.
Because they want to embarrass.
No, but what we know, when them do is the report is true or is lie.
I don't know.
No, I mean like they just the woman come down and resign.
Oh yeah.
You never see the Democratic woman resign because they must say they must set up the thing that Bernie go move forward in the election.
Yeah.
So it's not the messenger we are working with now. It's the message. The message is that the Democratic Party was working against Snowden, by Bernie, so that him don't win. And them find out because the WikiLeaks man released the thing them, where them did that transpired emails. And now the woman resigned and now them get a new one. And the man say him have more email for release.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we not kill the messenger, you know. We find out if it's not a conspiracy.
But you believe that Clinton can win the election?
Of course she can win. And the other one can win too. Trump can win too. Where you laugh at? You don't think that Trump, you don't think that Trump can win?
Hey, you know something like Clinton? I like Clinton.
No, I know what people don't like it, but me ask you don't think that Trump can win?
Trump can win, yes?
Okay, the two of them can win.
But I like Clinton, she's a liar.
Yeah, when I look at you now vote, I shouldn't get your vote.
Take care, about 3 minutes to 5.
Well, you tell the time. You tell the time before me tell you to come off. All right, sir. Yes. Well, I tell you, You know, it's a weird thing, you know, because when name Snow, not name no Snow, Trump attack pure madness, you know, and him get over the madness, you know. And people don't like him because this and because that. And them feel say Clinton is a more level-headed person. But guess what? If you look on the history, you know, during Obama as a foreign secretary, if you look on the history of what she do, as you can't hear where you hear the tape right. It's not a lie business, you know. As she set up them things there, you know, that ISIL gone in Syria and take over Libya. Or you think them things that happen? Because we must remember that Obama said, one of my worst regrets as president of America, you know, is that when them get rid of Gaddafi, them never have nothing to replace it. That was one of my worst regrets as president. Now we see another thing of Bruno, you know, and we have to watch it, you know. Istanbul, Turkey. Where you see I go on this or now? The Turks, them, I say, this guy, this Islamic guy, cleric, in America, where exiled in America, them want them to send him back to Turkey for trial.
We're winning. I just hope that the win stays a win. Yeah. You know, I gave a speech at the Atlantic Council this past week, and I said, thank you. I said, you know, the people of Venezuela.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, blessed.
I go on motor.
Stepping razor.
I Trump me, I say.
A what?
Me say, I Trump me, I say.
Trump, you say?
Trump me, I say.
Oh, so what you going to do? You going to vote?
Trump.
You going to vote?
No, me not vote for him, but me not.
You prefer him? You prefer him than Clinton?
Yeah. Long time.
Why? Why you prefer him? Why you prefer him?
You know, see the people ever sleep, man.
No, that me ask you, man. Me ask you why you prefer him. Why you prefer Trump?
Why me prefer him?
Yeah.
Because here I know. Him show him true color.
Okay.
But she just an island and rock and wait to come out and jump out on them like how you talk about the patrol them in the road.
Well, she come out and rock a long time, you know, and enough things. A problem she could create in her earth, you know, make people all afraid to go up on plane and afraid to go in a airport and all them way there.
Out of me, I tell you, say, the people, more than the man that win still for the people, get a wake up. Get a wake up.
And that me I say.
People not understand what
Obama make them asleep, man. Obama make them sleep.
The people not understand a thing where I go on more time. I tell you, say, work in a little school system here, more time.
Yeah.
You see some yard people coming here and the way them go on sometime, you hear all the woman and the youth are cuss for the school. And the girl I go tell the principal, say, we can cuss for the school at Jamaica. Me have said, John, what? And them, you know, them come here, you see them come a foreign motor.
Yeah.
Them serious say heaven them there.
Yeah,
so them don't know if it raise them pick me and make them pick the learn to survive in the environment for them in now.
Yeah.
You understand? So you find that's why you find the youth them are getting in so much trouble and you find so much deportation of youth them car youth them come here and them not face the reality of life, say.
So which part you live? Which part you live?
I live on the Cape in Massachusetts.
Okay. You ever go over with them there yet? Where the little island
where the president there now?
Yeah, where name again?
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard?
No, I'm going by another one.
You know, so one time I go by to go read poem in an old church. Yeah, man, old church.
I can't wait you come about the place, yeah.
No, where, Massachusetts?
Yeah, anywhere in the place, yeah. Anywhere there, I know so I have to find you.
Yeah, me remember the first time I go over Martha's Vineyard and them say the poetry reading. I say, wait, Martha's Vineyard, talk about Jacqueline Kennedy and all them people them play. I'm going to this old church, like a abandoned church, and the place packed. I say, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, them know me over here, so I mean, really, you know them.
No, man, you're well known, man.
A long time.
Them all spy for you, so then you're well known.
Yeah, well, them spy for most of it. Most of them spy for.
Yes, I know that most of it. But me I tell you most of me have to always give the man him credit, you know?
Yeah.
More time, me have to give you credit, because more time I work and me walk me all the way them and some people just see me and laugh and them think I'm mad, me I get mad, but I listen to the truth where I tell them, you know?
Me deserve a doctorate, don't it?
Long time. They wait to see them now give something. They just wait, you know.
Yeah. All right.
Make a petition for that.
All right, go away.
And you alone me attack certain things I need to talk.
All right, sir. Give thanks. Give thanks.
And you alone, respect.
All right, sir. Yes, me I tell you. Okay. We say rise up a while ago. Rise up. Here goes.
Live the life you love, the life you live, the life you want, the life you dreamed of. Don't be afraid. Reach out and touch your sky, cause it's there. Unlock the goodness, unlock the greatness, unlock the power, unlock the good things in you. Yay. Everything must come true. Broken down.
I tell you, yes. Step in. Step in. Don't make me put the tune in the talk, you know, yes.
Aye.
Yeah, man, me there, man. How you do, man?
Warm Jamuta, go on, me boss.
Tabby?
Yeah, man, I just talk. Hey, you know me boys, Muta.
Oh, you know your voice. How you say, man? They know how much you call me, man.
I stand on it today, I call your name. Last week, boy, we missed you last week, but that man will work for you.
Last week? I know last week, man. A week before last, man.
Yeah, week before last, man.
You talk about concrete.
Yeah, man, concrete,
Him well concrete.
Yeah, man. So enjoy up, so, man.
Austria, our work we're going to do, you know.
Yeah, man.
No, man, we love it because at the first I go which part, I go Austria all the while, but which part I go was like it's a grape vineyard, like thousands of miles of grape, just grape.
Yeah.
Go right by the place in the Czech Republic. So it's a festival right now the heart of the grape vineyard them near so a mountainside there, and it's nice, really.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, nice.
Because me the people might talk about it in the motor.
What
yeah, man, you know. Because me I show the I say, boy, we don't know about a man like you. We don't know about a man like you supposed to stand every morning Prime Minister because we are out in the motor, the real thing you know for you. Yeah. And the next thing again, motor, this crime thing. Not too long, we go look for one crime where one car run right over on the seaside.
What crime? What the criminality about that now? What is the criminality about that? The man push over the car over there?
A man drive over it with a woman. The man mash up. The woman mash up, but not do the man. And police fling on handcuff on the man. We go look for
them charging for manslaughter. Them charging for manslaughter.
Yeah.
So how the car go? Where him deliberately drive the car go over there? How that go? What? Tell me why them lock him up.
You know which part Colonel Coble?
No, I'm going to ask you wait up. I tell you why them lock him up.
Why look like him want to kill off the woman too, me understand. Like him and the woman in a problem.
So him drive the car go over the edge?
Right over the motor.
Deliberately? Deliberately?
Yeah.
So how him know say him never go dead? I'm the one dead, but him never dead.
But he look so because me have to look on it real and say, but what kind of thing this?
Maybe him the one dead and he never dead.
You see it?
Yeah.
Me have a Rasta man stand up right side of me, dying to bless you up motor. Me have to give me
Tell him
over to you.
Tell him down dead. Tell him down dead before him bless me up.
Whoa, that them motor. Bless up. I stand up from the center was a gear yellow. You know?
All right, how you do, man?
Yeah, man, give thanks, man. We tune into the program every day, you know.
All right. I know every day we come on do, you know.
No, man, every day, Thursday when you have to roll.
Okay, all right, every Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, man, because you give it some knowledge and straighten our mind on certain things we don't know about. You know,
all right.
That's it.
Give thanks, man, give thanks.
Yeah, man, I Jatabi son stand up from the center.
Yeah, Jatabi son?
Yes.
Then him never introduce you as him son. Him know want me know how old him is. Him know want me know how old him is, man. That's why I not introduce you as him son.
Yeah, see me in person, man. I'm here reason, man.
All
I'm
right,
an
sir.
artist, you know, from the center, man, and cook food, you know.
You cook food or your name cook food?
No, I cook food.
Oh,
feed them out.
you have a song named cook food.
Okay,
where you cook? Pork and all them something there?
No, that's the most, man.
Why not?
Vegetarian style.
Oh, vegetarian food you cook? Oh, me think of pork because that's the people them up to.
No joke, no pork.
Okay, all right, sir.
Nah, right, no suicide note neither, you see?
Yeah, because you know no joke.
All right.
And you not take coke?
No time at all.
All right, sir.
For the nerves.
Yeah, give thanks.
All right, respect.
Yeah, man.
Ayer, señoras, señores, desde esta misma tribuna, el señor presidente de los Estados Unidos, a quien yo llamo el diablo, vino aquí hablando como dueño del mundo.
Es otra agresión contra la Franja de Gaza. Salvaje, salvaje. El Estado de Israel otra vez bombardeando la Franja de Gaza.
Gamba Kashima.
Live the life you love, the life you live, the life you want, the life you dreamed of. Don't be afraid. Reach out and touch the sky, cause it's there. Unlock the goodness, unlock the greatness, unlock the power, unlock the good things in you. Yeah, everything must come true. Broken down, tired, little light, fun of merry-go-round. You can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out.
Torrijos at that time said, "My friend Jaime was killed by the CIA, and I'll probably be next." less than 3 months later, he also was killed when his plane had crashed under very suspicious circumstances, very much like Roldosa's.
Yes, El. El?
Hello?
Yes?
It's Muta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, big up yourself. This is Sophia Pretty from Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, ma'am, I listen to Sophia Pretty from...
Yeah, me hear a little man, a little brother from up in a foreign there, I talk about chumping, say. I wonder if I chump him, I talk him a chump a can. You know, see that man come like say, must be sick with him head. Or him to start chumping, say.
Oh, you can't clear America and get so excited about election up
Him
there.
the man up here, Muta, or him to say him want chump. Him can't have bed for chump.
Why him can't
Number
want
one chump, so when him come in, he not give no more visa.
No, wait,
Yo.
Cool yourself now.
I force him say my cut out,
No, hello, wait no. Oh, you're so excited that you're the America. And the land of opportunity and bliss that, you know. Oh,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Trump do not like
it's a
black
man of
people.
free, a man
And
of
Trump
free
do
there.
not like immigrants.
So you think
Number one, Trump wants to build a wall. That is his only thing he's talking about. He's not saying nothing
So let me
else.
ask you a question now. You're going to vote for Hillary, right?
Yeah.
You're going to vote for Hillary.
Hillary bought Musk.
All right, let me ask you a question. No two people are running in the election.
Yeah.
So a man have a right to vote for who he want to vote for.
Yeah, me understand, but him is an immigrant and he's a Jamaican, he's down born there.
So
Trump
you
do
is
not
why?
like us.
You is why?
Trump do not like us, Muta. Trump say I'm going to stop you a visa.
Oh, when him say that?
Trump say
no,
I'm
wait,
going
hold
to
on.
Muta, I listen to Trump every
No,
day. Trump do not have a policy what he's going to do.
When
He's not going to do nothing for the country.
But I mean, understand how you
You
go in
understand
America
what
and
I'm
get so
saying?
excited
Say
about
what
the
I'm about
election.
that Trump himself.
When you did out
Trump and him not born in America. No, we not born in America. Who for say Trump?
But
We
no,
immigrants not for say Trump.
Yo,
Serious.
wait no.
Trump not like immigrant Muta.
All right, you can't say nothing when
Yeah,
you
tell you
say,
that straight.
When you did out who you vote for?
When I vote for, who I vote for?
Yeah.
Hillary.
No, when you did out here as a Jamaican, who you did vote for?
No, I never vote, because I'm afraid for vote, because I want them kill me off.
But you go up there so for go vote.
Yes, because I'm afraid them not kill me for
But you sound like a tribalist now, because a man just call and say, a Trump, you must say, and you want to say, oh, if you go say Trump.
Yeah, because I'm not say Trump, because I come from Jamaica.
Oh, you mean him
not
not
like
say
we for
Trump?
nothing.
Oh, you mean him not say Trump?
We are talking about. Black people not for vote for Trump, because Trump not like black people.
Then Hillary love black people, don't he?
Of course, Hillary love black people. I don't think Hillary do for black people.
All right.
A whole heap of things Hillary do for black people, following our history.
All right, man.
Nothing. Trump not like black people.
Me ask you a
He
question.
not like immigrant, period.
Me ask you a
Never
question.
the black president who have in America. And the man that said the man don't born there. The man for sure bird paper.
All right.
Take the black president.
Whoa. Which part of Jamaica you come from?
And don't wake up back.
Which part of Jamaica you come from?
What?
Which part of Jamaica you come from?
Which part? That's not necessary.
No, me just ask you which part.
Me pour more Waterford.
Okay, all right, ma'am. All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, me not understand what you're saying.
The first black president of the United States of America.
All right.
Why he do that? Because the man is black.
All
He
right.
do not like black.
Okay.
So black people to get this in on the head and stop going like on the stupid and the dumb. That's what I said, Babylon.
No, but a
release the
Jamaican,
train and never use them
you
brain.
talk, wait there. You know, say
And them see some black people.
hello. You know, say a Jamaican radio depend.
Yeah.
Nobody don't a
But
Jamaica you
America
not go
listen
vote for
to.
him. Nobody don't you not go vote for
You
him.
know where Trump are, them Muta.
No, me don't know where Trump
You know
are.
the
Watch
man
out.
say I bring back, the man who bring back some back in the days thing where you used to pick, black people used to pick.
Yeah, no, so white people
and them
think
something that slavery days.
the same way like how Trump
the
think all most white
why
people
you listen to Trump good
No,
enough?
me listen to him. I
You
see him.
listen to
White
everything when
people,
him say
yeah,
on
white
TV,
people. That's what white
Muta.
people think. That's what white
Me
people
not
think. in
biased
America.
or nothing.
All right, ma'am. All right.
You have to listen to the man
All
and
right,
sort
all
of nonsense. Because them have black people so we can't read and we don't so we literate.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yes,
they say them
ma'am.
have a little black man man like Obama know. When them say a black man like that for intelligent and rich for that's why them treat him the worst.
All right, man.
I don't want to you want the president that them treat the worst up here. And you know why? Because he's black.
We have to move. All right, mama. Give thanks.
You understand me?
Yeah. Ratted. Weird. Them call all America with that too. Ratted. No, Rasta. All America we go with that too. Ratted. No, Rasta. Okay, Ill.
Yeah, Mota.
Yes.
Yeah. There are 4 sentences while you listen and then you give me a talk. Yeah, listen.
Yeah,
make a research,
the
right?
program so done, you know.
Huh?
The program so done.
No, man, it's short, man. Yeah, Mr. Patwa is a slave. Wickedest thing ever happened to African, Jamaican, black people. Patwa is a slave. Mentally sick and deceiving. Need emergency repair. The colonizer or colonialist and in general designed Patwa to keep African, Jamaican, black people in a poor and rebel pauperizing poverty in the Caribbean. The Caribbean sea, you know.
No, hold on. Who you say design Patwa? I don't understand how you mean design Patwa. Who designed Patwa?
Colonizer, colonialist.
Design Patwa?
Yeah.
You don't understand how you get Patwa?
Yeah, man, but me I tell you when we find out.
No,
after I beating.
No,
after I beating.
Some white people still don't design Patwa.
Yeah, but listen me out first.
Me I listen you one. But we can't make it talk on
me African, Jamaican, black people in a Caribbean slavery.
Yeah.
Poor hungry belly poverty.
Yeah.
Forever till God come and tell the world. And then me say, English got Patwa in a slavery. Bakra beat out Swahili, Zulu, Igbo, and Yamaric with main culture and then beat in a Patwa. Anglo-Saxon, West English garbage. Forever till God come and tell the world. Impossible Patwa take himself out of slavery. Impossible Patwa doing the international business or bargain without interpreter. Educated, done and adapted both slaves. Free and redeem, impossible. Study, learn and master international English dictionary and African.
Yeah.
Word, symbol and sign, speech and sentence. And then you're good to go in any international business or bargain.
Okay.
Then you can take 2 Patwa, take out of slavery without firing a shot or a sweat bus. Other things.
All right,
but
sir.
That's a 4 sentence.
Yeah, me hear you.
All
right, give thanks, yeah?
Yes, man.
Yes. Okay. Views. So, we want to give thanks for our next program, Stepping Razor, The Art of War. We want you love Tony. We want you love Neil. We want you love Neil. We want you love Me Hungry. Again. You know, so we don't stop heal up Me Hungry, you know. Yes. Yeah.
Greetings, Iron.
Blessed man. You know, a long time.
Me know, thanks for taking the call. That's the first thing I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and let me go forward to the program first slide. No bad word me want bust, and me want bust more than bad word, you know. Because when we listen to the brethren there down in Montego Bay Mother, you know, and Bill denial for his son, and just after that his son was murdered. You know?
Yeah.
And when we look how they take out Gaddafi right in front of the eyes, you know, and
murder him.
Montego Bay up on fire, and tourists are come and go and we not trouble them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a serious thing. It's a serious, Bob Marley say, them lucky we still got time to rap, you know.
But
them lucky we still have time to rap.
You hear the woman a while ago we call and across the brother. But should have murder you, should have murder you because you are the
Me know, me dead already. I know we want Trump win.
Yeah.
Yes. Them for wake up, them for claim the one violent victory.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Congo.
All right,
blessed love.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Rastafari.
Yeah, may I tell you, we're sleeping, man. We are asleep. We're sleeping. We need something for wake we up. That is the only thing. We need something for wake we up. Obama make we go sleep. You understand? We need something for wake we up. For make we know, say, the thing not reach there so yet. It not reach there. where them would have say one love, one heart, let's get together and be all right. It not reached there so yet. His Majesty say until the philosophy that all one race superior and the other inferior. His Majesty say until the color of a man's skin is of no significance than the color of his eyes. Him say, we Africans will fight if it is necessary because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. We not reached there so yet. It's until that day. Until, you understand, selecting the words carefully, until the philosophy, Donald Trump expressed that philosophy of white supremacy. And if we as African people, black people who's domiciled in the West here, really believe, say, what Donald Trump has said, is not we are whole heap of them, whether them are Democrat or Republican, or whether them heart. We're making a sad mistake. Donald Trump is saying exactly what white America is all about. He might let the puss out of the bag blatantly. And them get scared for no say one of them own could have taught them way there. Him for keep him mouth shut. But him not keep him mouth shut. That is how them is. That is how them is. And them use a black man to pacify the African people them. Pacify. So one guy come here now with him craziness. And him is not alone. Him is not alone. He must say exactly what them having in them mind. And we as African people get bummy. We see a black man, we say, yeah, black man in the White House. We see a woman now, we are going to say, yeah, it's a woman time now for rule. You know, them,